Python class labs that were converted over to C Sharp as like a little addendum. The class is linked down in the description below. You should watch the class before you do the labs. But we're about to do some reading and writing in files in C Sharp. Console and we're going to call this read and write. And cd read and write code period to launch Visual Studio Code program. All right, so I'm going to control dot or control period to change the style. So we got a main method, and we're going to start with the sensor dashboard. It's going to be our first lab section, where we're going to generate a random number between 0 and 100, and then we're going to assign a color to that number based on what would be, hot or cold. This is a temperature outside, so if it's greater than 80 degrees, it's hot. If it's between 80 and 50, it's green, which means I guess you're good. And if you're less than that, then it's blue and it's cold. And we'll be writing some HTML with the results to a file, and the HTML itself will refresh to see the contents of the file, but we'll also see the file updating in the bin directory once we get that running. So you'll see that. It'll be cool. So first thing we got to do is create our loop while true. We're going to say we're going to get a temperature, which is going to be a random, new random. Let's pull up my references over here. New random, and you say next from 0 to 100. So that's going to be our temperature, and our color will be an empty string. And now we get to say if the temp is greater than or equal to 80, we're going to set the color equals red. Else, if temperature is less than 80, but greater than or equal to 50, and so if the temperature is less than 80 and it's greater than 50, we're going to set the color equals green, because it's wonderful outside. Otherwise, we're going to say the color equals blue. All right, so now we got our temperature, we got our color assigned. Now we're going to write to a file. So we're going to do that with a using statement. So with Python, it's with, and it's opening as file. Here we're going to say using var file equals new stream writer, and we're going to say sensor.html. All right, so this has created a file object that we're now going to write to. So it's file.write, and we're going to put in some HTML header information. So it's meta http equip equals refresh. So you could see when I put in the double quotes, it thinks it's ending the string. You need to put in a / so that way it knows that you're not ending the string, that you actually want the quotes included in the file, or in the the string that's being written to the file. So yeah, / quote 5 / quote, and there's our HTML header, file write we'll do write line just to make it more legible inside the file when we look at it. So that way it's not appending everything into one really long string. We'll do write line. So we're going to put some variable data. So we're going to put our $sign there. P for a paragraph tag, style equals font size colon. Oh, hold on. I got the / in there. Font dash size colon 300 semicolon background color colon, and then you do color semicolon and temp. Oh, used the wrong thing. You need your curly braces and P. To close it, we need thing. So let me close this so you can see the entire line. All right. So now we want to finish with writing to the console, just so that way you can also see it down as it's progressing without actually checking the file. That's what this is right here for. So console.write line $sign temp T color. I want to say the /T is a tab. And then we're going to say thread sleep 2000. So in Python, it's sleep 2. In C# it's sleep. And instead of 2 seconds, it's in milliseconds. You can see here, when you do this, it says time in milliseconds. So that's why it's 2000. All right. So let's run this. Select the debugger, select the configuration. And it's 7 blue, 36 blue, 89 red. So now what we can do is we can check our bin directory, and you'll see there's sensor HTML. So this is the file actually getting written to, and you'll see it update. And you can also open, shouldn't there be an option to see it in Explorer? Oh, I don't see that. All right. So we can reveal in File Explorer, and then we can open it up in Edge. Well, that's interesting. I'm not seeing anything. Is it because view page source? Is that not valid? Oh yeah, it's missing the equal sign. That's why it's not showing up. So let's go back to here. Style equals. Let's go back here. Style equals font. So that was an invalid HTML. So let's save this and run it again. All right. So we can see what it looks like here. I still want to say that it's got a problem. Yep, I'm missing the end tag for the style. Okay. Typos abound in this one. Let's go back here. And we'll double check what we got here. It's colors. And then we need / end tag. Yep, you got to be careful with HTML. All right, let's try it again. Ah, there we go. So now you can see it updating over here, And it should update over here too, but it's refreshing every 5 seconds in the browser, but sleeping for 2 seconds in the app. So that's why we're not seeing every update on the right, but we got it on the left. And that about wraps this one up. On to the next. .html by allowing the user to put an update in, and it's going to put that update in the file. And that's it. Simple and straightforward. I noticed that I forgot to put this content inside a method last time, so I'm going to copy it. I'm going to create a method, execute, and that was sensor dashboard. Sensor execute. And then we're going to create a method for that. And then we're going to put contents in there. And we're going to quickly comment that out. And start our new one, which is the Note app. So Note executes. Control period. Generate that method. F12 to navigate to it. Delete the throwing the exception. So our file name equals note.html. And we're going to say using var file equals new stream writer to write to the file using the file name as the path. And then we're going to say file.writeLine. And what's the HTML content? H1 tag, note app, close H1 tag, and then add in a new line. Okay, clean this up. All right, so that's writing the header of the note.html, and we could say while true, prompt the user using console WriteLine to add an update, and we're going to capture that into an update variable, console.readLine, and we're going to open the file again using var file equals new stream writer file name, and we're going to say file.writeLine $, so we can insert in between paragraph tags what we typed in for the update. Okay, so we don't, if we use WriteLine, then we don't need the new line tags there. I noticed that. Because then you would end up new line. So you could either write and then have the /n in there for new line, or you could do WriteLine. And we've been using WriteLine, so we'll stick with WriteLine. I changed my mind. We'll put it back to write. Since we got the /n, we'll try to keep it close, as close to the original lab as possible. Plus, you could see if that's true. We'll test my knowledge. All right. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and run this. Let's make sure, we commented that out. So add an update. Update 1, update 2, and let's check out, see what's going on. Note HTML, update 2. Should it be appending, or is it just, it's not appending. What did I do wrong? Oh, okay. I get it now. I'm off screen as my tested version. So when we did the stream writer here, there's options in here. And see where it says append? We want that to be true. Append true. And I don't know if there is... Oh, okay. So in Python, that A right there meant append. I missed that when going through this. So if I was to save this and run, add an update. Got to move the cursor down here. Update. Update 2. Update 3. And now let's see what's in the note. So there you go. Node app, update, update 2, update 3. Again, this is in the bin debug. So when you create a file, reference to a file, and you just provide a file name and you're not providing the fully qualified path, then it's just going to drop it where the code is executing. So that's why, and it executes from the bin directory. So that's it on this guy. I mean, again, we can see the file in File Explorer here, or Internet Explorer here, or Edge, whatever we're on now. In the browser, you could see it. All right, so that's it. On to the next one. Build a bunch of records through user input and then search through them by providing a search term. So the first thing we're going to do, comment out the previous exercise, and we're going to say this is going to be records. Execute. All right, period. Generate the method, F12 to jump to it, and we're going to start it off with a while true. So we're going to say, give me a command. Command equals console dot read line. But we want to prompt the user what they need to enter, so it's console write line new or search lowercase, because this is all going to be case sensitive in this code, or at least the code I'm going to write. So we'll keep it all nice and uniform with lowercase. If command equals new, yep, so that's definitely case sensitive. We're going to prompt for a name and an age. Console write line name. And while we're here, we'll do age, and then we'll put in the read line var name equals console read line, and then we'll copy this, paste that, change this to age. So we got our name and we got our age, and now we're going to open the file. So it's using var file equals new stream writer, and we want the file name to be, do we have a file name? Hold on, the example I have is the wrong one. Okay, so we're just gonna put in there, it's record txt, and we're appending. So record txt and append true. Make more room. All right, so we're appending, and what are we going to append? We're going to append the name and the age. So file dot write line $, we're going to say name and comma age, right? All right, well, it's going to be right again. Stay true to the Python, it's right with a new line at the end. All right, so that covers if the command is new. If the command equals search, we're going to prompt for a query. So console write line query colon. And we're going to toss that into a variable called query. Query equals console read line. Boom. We got the query. And now we're going to read the contents of the file into an array of strings. So we're going to say string file underscore read equals and file dot read all lines, and it's going to be called record.txt. Right? So we got the query. See where it's got a read, file read. So we're going to read into the array, and then we're going to say, hey, for every string, for each record, oh wait, gotta say var record in file read, if the record contains the query, because that's what we're saying. Where is it? If query in record. So if query in record, this is the equivalent of if the record contains the query. Then we're going to say, we're going to split the record. So we can say string parts, or maybe just say var parts equals record split. And we're going to split on a character, which is the comma. So when we added the comma over here, we're going to split on the comma down here. And then we can console write line. $. And it says record 0, record, oh, it's not parts. That's interesting. For record in file, record equals record. Okay, so they're reassigning. In Python, I guess you can reassign the variable. I'm just going to use a different variable here. So we have a record, which is the string from the file, but then we're going to split that one string into parts, so that way we can say, hey, parts 1 or 0, because we're 0 based, and /t tab, and parts 1, and that should cover it. So let's go ahead and save this, run this, see what happens. New or search. So we're going to say new, name Rob, age 44. God help me. New, name Tim, and age is 12. New, and Charlie, and 40. All right. So now we should have a file with those records in it called, what was the name of the file? Record.txt. So let's check that in the bin. Record.txt. So there you go. Rob, Tim, Charlie. And we can say search. And the query will be Rob. And it'll say Rob's 44. Search. And Charlie. And Charlie is 40. So there you go. And if we say new, and we add another name, and an age of 55, boom, shows up. Super easy and piece of cake. To replace watching the actual class that describes, what a file is and how to use it in Python. This is just the Python code translated into C# in case you wanted to learn C# at the same time, or you want to learn the concepts in Python, but you want to see what it looks like in C#. All sorts of reasons. Link to the original Silicon Dojo class is in the description, as well as a link to the GitHub with these files on them. Have a wonderful day.